Hello. Apologies about the amount of background noise that's going to be in this. There's kids playing outside in the snow because in the UK currently we've been having a lot of snow, which is great. And since last week I haven't had a shave, so it's the beginning of a ginger beard, which is wonderful. So the first one went down really well. So I'm back because I said I was going to do this as a series if it went down well. So I am back doing 3 more genres, 2 films per genre. So the first category we're talking about today is a category that I'm pretty sure will be very divisive and won't actually get people watching them, which is a shame, but it's films that are made that aren't in the English spoken language. So that's any film that's made that has either dubbing or subtitles. Obviously, a lot of people will probably presume that I'm going to talk about Japanese films, because obviously they're quite popular with My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, like those sort of films, but I'm not. I'm talking primarily at the moment about films from Europe. So the first film I'm talking about today is My Life as a Courgette, which is a film about a child that accidentally kills his mum and how he deals with being an orphan in this new orphanage, and also how all the other children deal with their situations as to why they're in the orphanage. So it's a really emotionally charged film, but it's also done as an animation. It's a really small contained story that's really powerful and emotional, that's all animated, which adds like an extra layer of like childhood to it. I was going to include it last week in the animation one, but then I thought actually it's French, so we can include it in this. For both of these films I'm talking about, there are English versions of them where you can listen to it or watch it in English. I would suggest not doing that. I would suggest watching it in the language it was initially made in, because it just opens you up to more culture. Plus, you sort of get a lot more out of it. So for instance, the film I'm about to talk about, the reason why it's made in German and not British first is because of what it's doing in the film. So the film is Funny Games by Michael Haneke. The film is a horror, which I don't usually like. I don't tend to like horrors, but Funny Games is clever because it's an anti-horror, anti-Hollywood film. So it takes traditional horror tropes, turns it on its head, and makes you never know what's going to happen. And I can't really give much more than that, because everything I say is sort of like a spoiler, because you can expect it, and the whole point of this is to go into it unexpected. That being said, it is also a commentary on the westernized society, and if you pay real close attention, the two antagonists never share the same name. So they go off Beavis and Butthead, Tom and Jerry, and just go off these very westernized American names. Basically, because they do that, America as a country becomes the villain. It's a really interesting film. It's very divisive as well. Some people love it and some people dislike it. I'm one who loves it because it's just very aware of what it's doing, and it's clever because of what it's doing. But some don't like it because it's very on the nose and it's too obvious, whereas they prefer it a bit more subtle, which is cool. I just, if you are trying to get into watching, I think it's kind of hard to watch a foreign film anyway, so to have it sort of guide you along really helps, I think. Now the next category, for anyone who knows me as a filmmaker, is my favourite genre of film, possibly ever, and it's drama. And the reason why I love drama so much is because it allows you to get invested in these characters that are telling their story over, I know, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and you get on board with them throughout, and what they feel you feel, and that is good. That's good drama. So the first drama film I'm going to talk about, I'm actually going to warn you about first. So if you have recently gone through a breakup or are planning one, not that you ever would, I would suggest not watching this, just because it's going to fuck you up so much. It's a film called Closer. Closer is unique. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. It's an anti-love film that's about love. So it's a film that shows you how fucked up and toxic love is, while actually showing you how much love can mean to you. It's really not violent, but it's very volatile. It's a very emotionally charged film, and the dialogue is just, it feels too real. The cast as well is spectacular, and again, it's one of these films that I can't really talk too much about because it's so fueled on emotion that as soon as you start manipulating your expectation of what's going to happen, you come into it with a different emotion. But the film that I'm pretty sure most people have seen is a film by Richard Ayoade called Submarine. And now I can imagine people listening to that being like, oh, I've watched that before. Are you really going to talk to me about Submarine? Yes, yes I am, because Submarine is incredible. Submarine is set, I think, in Wales. I want to say in Wales, here in the UK, and is a coming-of-age, angsty, stylistic film about a boy falling in love and dealing with that relationship, and also the relationship with his mother and father. So there's a lot there to unpack, but it's very quirky and very charming, and has a soundtrack by the lead singer of the Arctic Monkeys, who I cannot remember the name of, Alex Turner. There you go, got there in the end. The final category for today is a suggestion from Liam, who suggested dystopian or gritty films, and I don't tend to watch them too much because they're just a lot, and I don't tend to like films that I can't see what's going on. That being said, I love dystopian themes and gritty themes. So the first film is a film that I presume a lot of people would have heard of, maybe have seen it, I don't know. It's called V for Vendetta, and it is weirdly enough not set in reality, even though everything I'm going to talk about sounds like it's from this world, but it's not. It's set in the future, but as you'll hear it, it's just okay. It's set in a world where the government has entire control over the media and manipulates what they put out. So the government have control over everything. The media, the state, just everything. Told you it sounds too real. But it is about a guy and a girl who uprise against the government, and as a result of that, there's another plot within that I think's a bit shit. But it sort of explained why they're doing it. The reason why I love this film is because A, it's incredibly real and true, and if you watch it you're like, oh my god, this is just life today. And secondly, because it is really intelligent to watch. Not that it makes you think, but it's just, you can tell that they put in a lot of work when they wrote it and when they made it. I mean, it is a little bit dated, but it's still relevant to watch, and I would highly suggest everyone watching it, because it's sort of like the British version of 1984. And I say that because I don't know where George Orwell was from. He might have been from Britain, in which case it's the second British 1984. And the second film that's dystopian and gritty that I presume most people probably haven't seen, but they have heard of, is a film called Ex Machina. Now, Ex Machina is, I wouldn't say it's explicitly dystopian or gritty, but it's got those themes throughout, and I would say that it's more gritty the more you think about it after you've seen it. So it's a film about questioning whether or not artificial intelligence can ever be human. Now, that sounds like it doesn't belong in this genre, but it's the lengths that they go to test whether or not she is but it's the lengths that they go to and explore throughout the film that sort of makes you realise and look at how fucking gritty it is. I would say, though, that this film is better when you watch it with people, because you can talk about it afterwards, because it's a very morally charged film. So as opposed to my dramas that are very emotional, this one plays with your morality and what you believe in, and whether what you believe in aligns with the characters. The characters, I should mention though, are played by some incredible actors, and I'm going to name because you'll be like, what? How have I not heard this before? So you've got the main character, played by Domhnall Gleeson. You've got the other main... It's got four characters in it, I would say 4 characters, but the fourth one's bit. Yeah. So the main one is Domhnall Gleeson, the second is Oscar Isaac, and the third one is Alicia Vikander. Now, those names are everywhere at the moment, so it's interesting to see them back here in this film by Alex Garland, of all people, about morality. Yeah. I can actually film a video and get an outro in this. Excellent as well. Thank you ever so much. Don't forget that there's the blog post where I go into all fuller detail in the description. Cool. I'm really proud of myself for doing 2 episodes, I will be honest. Didn't think I'd be able to do it. Usually I do like 1 and I'm like, nah, that's it now. But I've actually done 2 with a lot of effort, and I'm proud of myself. Yep. Cool. Bye.